Welcome, classic rock fans, to a review of Pink Floyd's Delicate Sound of Thunder. Now, specifically, I'm talking about the Blu-ray, the new restored, re-edited concert, which I watched last night. Now, the unboxing video I uploaded yesterday, and it's there for you to look at. So I thought I'd talk about the actual concert itself in its re-edited and remixed form, especially in comparison to the original VHS that we all enjoyed so many years ago now. So here it is, if you haven't already got it. If you haven't already got it, I'm going to be really cheeky and ask you to consider purchasing this or the vinyl via the links that I will put below, as my channel receives a small commission for every purchase from Amazon at no extra cost to yourself. Everybody's a winner there, I suppose. Anyway, the actual concert itself, I mean, it's been interesting this period. I mean, we had the later years box set, which I didn't buy. It was just horrendously expensive, so I didn't purchase. So I'm going to probably buy these little pieces, these fragments of that huge monolith that are issued piecemeal, I suspect, over the next year or so. I get the feeling with the excavation of, say, the Momentary Lapse of Reason album and indeed this concert footage that there is a genuine desire to honour the memory of Richard Wright, of course, and the music that they made during this period. Now, I understand that the music that Pink Floyd made during this period is controversial. A lot of Pink Floyd is still very pissy and vinegary about it, and I understand that. Of course, Roger Waters was the conceptual nous, a conceptual genius behind those classic 1970s Pink Floyd albums. But to be honest with you, for me, it wouldn't be Pink Floyd without that specific sound that this band create. Without Gilmour's musical nous and orthodoxy that he brought to the table, Nick Mason's very languid and fluid drumming style, and Richard Wright's precise, exact keyboard flourishes that just very much add to the whole atmosphere of this music. Those elements combined together make Pink Floyd. So anyway, obviously we've got the remix and rejuvenation of Momentary Lapse of Reason, not an album that I ever loved, to be honest with you. I did a video called Worst to Best a couple of years ago now, and I lay out in that video all the reasons why I do not like that album. However, that being said, my classic album review of the remixed version of Momentary Lapse of Reason describe it as something that has been salvaged, as excavated, and it sounds much, much better. And it's actually an album now that I do listen to occasionally and rather enjoy. The original mix, of course, did not sound like a Pink Floyd album, and understandably so, as Mason and Wright barely, if at all, played on the damn thing. But now, of course, that's been rectified and it sounds much, much better. Of course, the problem with A Momentary Lapse of Reason, it was an album steeped in those horrible production affectations of the period, which very much roots it in the 1980s. That, has, as I said, has been stripped away, and this album now has a more timeless feel of classic Pink Floyd, which is what Gilmour was aiming for. He's de-80fied it, if that makes sense. You cannot say the same of this video to a certain extent, because it's obviously a visual testimony of those concerts. And we have to get past those baggy 80s clothing and those uber mullets. But once you get past that, it does generally come across as a much warmer, more organic, if that makes sense, piece. Something that's more representative and more faithful to the original concert experience that many of us enjoyed way back in 1988. Of course, there was copious amounts of footage used when documenting this concert, which obviously made for rather fertile ground for this wonderful re-edit. But the original VHS, of course, again, it was very much steeped in the 1980s, and it does come across as a sort of glossy brochure rather than has any humanity or warmth to it. Again, like Momentary Lapse of Reason, the album, this has been rectified with this new cut. Of course, the emphasis on this new edit is to focus on the three key members of Pink Floyd. A criticism of this period is that there was so much going on that stage and other musicians that the contributions of Wright and Mason, and many of us felt, were a little bit swamped, perhaps. But this video very much reaffirms their contributions to what is being played on that stage, which is welcomed as far as I'm concerned. The most wonderful moment from this new re-edited video, of course, is the restored Shine On You Crazy Diamond. It's absolutely oozes compassion, warmth, and love and respect for Richard Wright, because a lot of the camera focus is actually on Richard Wright and the bits that he's playing, which was just lovely to see, to be honest with you. I mean, if you remember the original VHS, we got that little intro, The Shine on You Crazy Diamond, that went straight into Signs of Life, Learning to Fly, Sorrow, Dogs of War, On the Turning Away. These are all obviously re-edited, focusing more on the contributions from Mason and Wright, so they don't feel so sterile, really visually sterile as well as musically so. On the Turning Away, you get some interesting segues to the contributions made by the backing vocalists on this, which was nice to see. One of These Days, of course, is excellent due to the huge inflatable porker. And of course, the camera focuses a lot more on Nick Mason. Perhaps a little bit of a nod and a wink, reminiscent of Live at Pompeii, where the camera was seemed to be primarily focused on him in that. I think primarily because they lost lots of footage, so they had to go with what they actually had. Time is visually stunning, of course, On the Run, Great Kick in the Sky, and the concert ends with them walking off the stage. I don't remember that being in the original VHS, I could be wrong, but of course it gives it that sense of completion, really, as if we just experienced a live event rather than some sort of glossy promo video. One niggle is to ask why Welcome to the Machine hasn't been restored to the Blu-ray. The visual, because visually it was stunning if you remember seeing it live. But I don't understand, not only is it not restored to the actual concert, it's not even there as bonus content. Also, Another Brick in the Wall isn't there either. Now, I'll be honest with you, I tend not to like Another Brick in the Wall live. I just don't think it's a song that works particularly well live, but it is a very well-known song, but it's not in there either. And again, not even as bonus footage, which I think is rather odd. Any thoughts as to why that is the case? Perhaps, I don't know. But there is some bonus footage on there, of course. You know, we get yet another movie, Round and Round, A New Machine, Terminal Frost, and A New Machine as additional footage. Yet Another Movie is one of my favourite Pink Floyd songs of all time. Perhaps a controversial thing to say, but I think it's a remarkable song. It's just so atmospheric and beautiful. And also it goes without saying, of course, the amount of money that's thrown at these things. The sound and audio quality are absolutely stunning. So in a nutshell, I would highly recommend that you buy this. I think it's a wonderful document of Pink Floyd playing live at this time. A lot of the gloss and artifice has been stripped away, making it a much more immersive and rewarding experience, I think. They're my thoughts and impressions on the latest re-edited, remixed version of Pink Floyd's concert film Delicate Sound of Thunder. Anyway, do click like, subscribe and check that bell so you get notified of any future uploads. And do check out some of the links below for ways you can support me and the work done at Classic Album Review. It's always much appreciated. There's also the link to the Facebook page which you can check out. I do post on there on a regular basis. Just leaves me to say thank you for watching. I hope you're all staying safe. But more importantly, please do keep listening.